Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, for those of you who have never been here before. And today I just wanted to be a little bit chatty this week, I think. I had a video go up about speculation about what the next expansion pack could be, and then today we're talking about 14 things that I think that The Sims 4 needs, either in 2020 or 2021. Like the end of 2020, you know, hopefully early 2021, but like a girl can dream. As many of you know, if you've been watching these videos, I just moved, so I haven't really been recording a ton, and I just want to talk to you guys. I just kind of want to talk about The Sims. I kind of want to just chat for a little bit. So we're going to talk about some things that I think we need in the game before this next year. Not this year. If they added all these things in 2020, I would be like, wow, 2020 is incredible, best year ever, even though it's probably one of the worst years ever. It's been a weird one. Anyway, guys, we're going to jump into the 14 things I think The Sims 4 needs in 2021. The first thing on this list is create a world. So I love a lot of the worlds in The Sims 4. They are beautiful, but there are not enough lots, and you can't choose what kind of size lots you want. You can't choose to change a lot. Like, it's just, like, I just don't think it's enough. I've been playing The Sims for years, and one of my favorite things to do in The Sims 2 was create my own worlds. I loved creating my own worlds because you could kind of have your own characters and your own storylines and just have like so much drama in this little world that you created, so it felt a lot more personal, and that's something I honestly think we need back in The Sims 4. I just love being able to make my own worlds without having to delete previous townies, because like I like some of the people that they have in The Sims 4. Like, I don't want to delete the goths or even the pancakes. Like, I feel like having Eliza pancakes come at your door every day is like kind of a staple of The Sims 4. And if that was gone, I would be very confused. So I think that having the ability to create your own world without having to wipe out an entire neighborhood is necessary in this game. They could honestly just do it like The Sims 2, where you just have different size lots that you can put anywhere in any direction, and I would be so happy. Honestly, if The Sims 5 was just a prettier version of The Sims 2 and they just kind of like added upon that, I would be the happiest person in the whole world. The second thing on this list is, of course, bunk beds. We all know that we need bunk beds, and there are some really good custom content bunk beds, but I hate having to use custom content because something's not in the game. I like to use CC for things, you know, to make them better, like different add-ons and things that were already created by EA that just kind of enhance the look of things we already have. But the fact that we don't have bunk beds and this game has been out for 6 years is absolutely ridiculous to me, and I can't believe that it's been that long. Like, I'm just begging for bunk beds. Now, I do know they won't be coming in 2020. They did say that the next expansion pack that we're getting, the last one of this year, will not have bunk beds, so unfortunately we're gonna have to wait for next year and just hope and pray that that's something that we're given. The next thing I have on this list is Burglars. I'm so happy that they added firefighters with the eco lifestyle update. That was actually a really good update. We got like movable windows and firefighters and a bunch of other little stuff, so it was a good one. But I really genuinely miss Burglars so much. Like, I loved having a family. For some reason it only ever happened to my poor families, but I would have a family where I have like 3 or 4 children and 2 parents who are just struggling to make ends meet living in this tiny little house, and then all of a sudden a burglar comes and steals like their brand new TV that it took me like a week in Sims time to be able to afford. And like, it always broke my heart, but then it was like, okay, new challenge, let's go, gotta buy a new TV. And I had like something to work towards, and there'd always be that moment where I'd realize I forgot to add an alarm system, so then the burglar would not get caught and I would not get any money back. But even if the burglar got caught, you didn't get all of the money back for the item, so it was just chaos and you would lose money every time, and I kind of loved that. As silly as it is, I really just want consequences in the game. I love random consequences and things like that, and I just think that burglars need to come back as soon as possible. The next thing on this list is actually an expansion pack that I know every single person who plays with families wants, and that is The Sims 4 Generations. Literally just make The Sims 3 Generations in The Sims 4. Add everything from that pack, just all of it. Give me all of it. Give me canes, give me just like everything. The entire pack. That's all I want. I want to see my elders using canes. I want to see my toddlers being able to be walked around in strollers. I want kids to be able to have sleepovers and play dress up and do all of those fun things and have imaginary friends and teens go to prom. Just everything that came with Generations was genuinely incredible. And I want this pack to honestly have nothing for adults and young adults. I want it to be for elders, children, toddlers, babies, and teenagers, and that's it. Nothing for the young adult and adult life stages, because every pack seems to be so focused on them, and that's all I want. That's all I want. I just want it so bad. Just Generations, please. Please, at EA, Generations. The next thing is different crib types. I hate the bassinet system in The Sims 4, and the fact that toddlers only sleep in toddler beds. I really miss cribs, like actual cribs that were, you know, not a bassinet. I don't know. Bassinets aren't normal as the only thing a kid sleeps in before they get a toddler bed. Like, that's so weird. You sleep in I feel like most babies, at least, I don't have any children, so I don't know, but I was a baby. But I feel like babies only really sleep in bassinets when they're, like, really small. So, like, I get having a baby in a bassinet, but even then, normally you would, like, transition them to a crib at some point. And I feel like toddlers should have the option between a crib and, like, a toddler bed, depending on, like, how mature this child is. Like, even if, like, their thinking skill or something like that was at a certain level, then they were able to go to a toddler bed, because they wouldn't be waking up as much, they wouldn't be as emotional because, their brain is working. I don't know. Maybe that's, like, thinking too much into it, but I really wish that we had actual cribs that you could put your babies or your toddlers in and just make it feel more of a transitional phase instead of going from a bassinet and being a baby immediately to being able to walk and being in a toddler bed. Like, I don't know. Is that weird? So something silly that always bugged me about The Sims 4, that is the next thing, is that your fridges are just bottomless. Like, you pay for the food as you're cooking it instead of having any way to grocery shop. And I really miss having to buy groceries, like in The Sims. Honestly, I don't even remember most of The Sims 3 because I was in university at the time, so, like, I was very busy and I didn't get to play it a ton. So The Sims 2 is where a lot of my reference points are. So, like, in The Sims 2, what happened was if you didn't have any food left, you'd go up to try to make something and they'd be like, oh, you have no food. And you'd be like, oh, crap, can't cook. So then you'd be like, oh, let's order a pizza for dinner, but also order groceries. And you could choose how much of your fridge you wanted to fill, or you could actually go to the stores and they had those little things, like at a grocery store. They had, like, little grocery stores in commercial lots in The Sims 2 where you could go and buy groceries to fill up your fridge. And I just felt like that made it feel more real. And it also gave me a reason to order, like, Chinese food or pizza, because I never do that normally because all you have to do is go cook something and it's really easy. So I don't know. I just, like, really want there to be grocery stores in the game. Even if it's, like, a grocery store and, like, a clothing store together. That's another thing I want, is that in The Sims 2, Sims 2 is the best, you'd pick, like, one everyday outfit. You didn't get the option of having multiple, which I do like. However, you would be able to go and buy different clothes. So you would go to a store and be able to try on different clothes and pick out different outfits, and you could buy a bunch of different stuff, and then you could go plan your outfit in, like, a dresser and pick a different outfit that you bought at the store. Like, how cool is that? I wish we had things like that in this game. The next thing on this list is different types of counters. One of my biggest complaints about The Sims 4 is that we just don't have enough different counters. We don't have enough, like, good modern counters. The best ones, I would say, are, like, the base game ones, but they look base game, like, they look like they came with the launch game, and the texture is just not right for what we have in 2020. And I really, really, really just wish that we had more counters. I also wish that they would add the system, kind of, once again, in The Sims 2, where you could change the color of, like, obviously in The Sims 3 you had create a style, so you could change the color of everything, but that's not even what I want. Like, I don't want create a style and all of that to change every single thing about every single item. What I do want, though, is the ability for a certain counter where you're able to change the color of the actual cupboards and the color of the countertop. So you can have, a black counter and a white countertop if you want, or on that same counter you can flip it and it not just be in swatches. Like, if we had the ability to choose those things, I think it would allow for a lot more customization if they had, like, a black counter, a white counter, maybe, like, a gray, and they could throw in, like, a couple fun colors, and then maybe, like, a wood countertop, and have those across every single different color of that variation. I don't know. I just really wish that we had more options when it came to counters. I get why EA doesn't really do them that often, because there are so many little pieces to the counters, because you have the corners and the ends and all of that. So it takes a lot of their effort. Like, a counter is like 10 different items, but it's just like, the kitchen is kind of like the heart of the home, and you really want to be able to customize your kitchens a little bit more, and it's a little bit disappointing that we don't have the ability to do that right now. The 8th thing on my list is just better events. I really want to be able to have sleepovers and baby showers, even funerals, bridal showers, just more things that you kind of see in everyday life. I would love to have high school graduations, because right now you kind of just, like, age up and then you're done high school, and, like, graduation parties for high school kids where they could get a bunch of gifts from all their different family members and, like, move on in their life. Maybe more rabbit holes. A kid could have a recital after school that their parents get to go to, or things, like, I don't know. I just want it to feel more real and there to be more events that just make sense in regular life. Honestly, I would love to have a kid who's, like, really good at, like, the violin and has a high creativity skill be able to have, like, an after school recital, or a kid who has a high motor skill be able to go to a sporting event and, like, have their parents come watch them. I think that would be so cool. So cool. Or, like, someone with a high social skill would be in a play, like these kids have so many options. But I really just wish we had better events. I talked in my last video with the speculation about how I really wanted to see different date types in the game. How it would be nice to have, like, an option for a coffee date and you go to a coffee shop, and an option for a movie date, and, like, little things like that where there would be different goals instead of just, the one date type we have now with the same goals for everything. The next thing on this list is something I talk about a lot, which is lore. And if you watch Plumbella, you know that she wants more lore as well. So like more lore 2021. I really want them to just bring back more nostalgic characters from the past games and add more of the information about them. So for example, in Discovery University, they added the Pleasant twins. However, they don't have parents in this game. But in The Sims 2, when you started the game and you played with the Pleasants, like Angela and Lilith were always fighting. The mom was miserable because the dad was cheating on her with the maid, and like it was just absolute chaos, and there was so much lore and like just in that family alone. And it sucks because they added them, but they don't have their parents around. They don't even have any relationships with their parents. So it's just, it just doesn't make it feel real for me. Or for example, they have Dustin Broke. They added him in Get Famous. And if you played The Sims 2, he was the son of Brandy Broke and his little brother Bo and their dad that died. But I really want Brandy Broke to be in the game too, and Bo to be in the game, and like all these people to be there that just, you know, don't exist. I really want to see the Broke family, the full Broke family, not just Dustin. The Pleasant parents, the Grunt family, pretty much anybody who lived in Veronaville in The Sims 2. Like, I would love to see any of that come back. I just really miss these characters, and I really miss the relationships between these characters. And I'm still so mad in the game that they added Don Lothario to the Caliente family and then added Katrina Caliente. Like Dina and Nina's mother? It just doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense. The next thing is nostalgic items. So this may be something that anyone who's just played The Sims 4 won't honestly care about, but there are so many items from the Sims franchise that are just nostalgic and have a special place in my heart, especially if you've played like 1, 2, and 3. You're just like, okay, I would really like to see these things come back. So some examples are like Bonehilda, of course, we need Bonehilda back. Justice for Bonehilda. We need the vibrating heart bed, a heart-shaped hot tub, the small kids stoves that you used to be able to have your kids bake on and they would learn, like, I believe the cooking skill. And like little things like that. The entire kids' bedroom set from The Sims 1 that was like that colorful patchwork thing. If they just made a nostalgia stuff pack with all of these items, I would pay for it 4 times. Like, genuinely, I would be so excited. Having these kinds of items in this game would honestly make me want to play more because it would remind me of my childhood and get me all, like, giddy. So I really just want to see some goofy things come back to the game from old Sims games instead of just creating all new items. The next thing on this list is more relationship types. So one thing that really bugs me is that in Create a Sim, you can't add that many relationship types. So you can have mom, dad, brother, sister. I believe you can even have, like, grandparents added in Create a Sim. To be honest, I can't even think if you can. I don't even know. But I want to be able to have things like boyfriend and girlfriend, fiance, cousins, stepmom, like any of those things available in Create a Sim so that you can create these more complex families right from the start to have your gameplay be a little bit more interesting. It's going to allow so much more interesting storytelling, and people will just get more attached to families that are a little bit larger. And when you can create like cousins and brothers and uncles and all of those kinds of people, it just, I don't know, it makes me feel like I want to play the game more because I'm like, oh, I got to make sure that that family's okay. But when it's just like mom, dad, sister, brother, I'm like, okay, they're fine. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I feel like that. Now, to anyone who watches the 100 Baby Challenge, this next one might be funny because I'm constantly complaining about how messy the house is in that challenge. However, there are 8 Sims in that household and the mom doesn't do anything, so like it makes sense. But I really want more mess in The Sims 4. I really want the houses to be messier. One thing that I really miss is having to make the bed. As silly as that is, I can't stand when Sims just get out of bed and it's completely perfect. Like, I want to have to make the bed or have to hire a maid to have the bed made. I feel like it takes sinks and counters and everything so long to get dirty now, and I want my Sims to have to spend more time cleaning. Once again, I just want consequences and bad things to happen to my Sims sometimes, so like having to clean is kind of fun. I would love to have to like vacuum the floors or something. We do have that robo vacuum. Does that come with cats and dogs? I don't even remember. But I really honestly would like to have to clean more, which is very weird because in real life I'm like, please, someone clean for me. Am I okay? Anyway, the next thing on this list is more traits. Of course, The Sims 4 is really lacking in the traits department. The Sims 3 blew it out of the water with traits. There were so many more in the base game, and in every pack you pretty much got traits. And we really haven't been getting very many good ones lately. Like, they didn't even add a Star Wars trait, which I think is silly. They could have added just like another like geek. Which one, do we have geek or nerd? I think we have geek, but you could have like a nerdy trait and have that person love Star Wars. I don't know. There's just so much missing. Some traits that were in The Sims 3 that I would love to see in The Sims 4 include lucky, unlucky, brave, never nude, because that's hilarious, technophobe, great kisser, hydrophobic. So like people that are just scared of things. Like, I love the fact that someone would be scared of water, or someone would never take their clothes off, so they would like shower with their pants on, or somebody who's scared of technology, and it'd be really hard in The Sims 4 to have someone who's scared of technology. It just sucks because I know that even adding these traits, it won't change much in the game, because in The Sims 4, traits don't really do that much. They don't really affect your Sims a whole bunch, except for like sometimes their emotions, but the emotion system is completely broken in this game. And I don't know. I feel like they should add more traits, but then I'm like, but what's the point? As bad as that is, but anyway. And the last thing on this list is more apartments. So originally we got apartments with The Sims 4 City Living, of course. We got all of those like high-rise buildings, beautiful, wonderful, spectacular. But in The Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle, we actually got like different apartments. There were 2 different apartment buildings in this world that were definitely a lot smaller and more like small town apartments compared to like big high-rises like what you would see in a big city. So it's definitely interesting to me that they added apartments in Eco Lifestyle. And I would love to see more of this. I love playing in apartments in The Sims because I don't want to have to like do any landscaping. I don't know. Sometimes I love landscaping and sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do this. But I really like the idea of having more apartments and having more ways to have your Sims live, because it is realistic to have like a young couple living in an apartment or a single person living in an apartment. However, if they do add more apartments, I want to see smaller apartments, like little studio apartments that are tiny, because all the apartments in The Sims are ginormous and there's way too much space for one person. But I do want to see more of that in new worlds that they may create for The Sims 4. But anyway, guys, those are the 14 things that I think they should add to The Sims 4 either in the end of 2020 or 2021. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Be sure to let me know what kind of things you want to see in The Sims 4 next year. I really like doing videos like this and like hearing your guys' thoughts because they're always super interesting. But yeah, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.